So in this video, we're going to go over the 7 steps of a penetration test. A lot of courses that I signed up for when I was first learning ethical hacking, they kind of showed you like little bits and pieces, and you can do this or that, little Nmap scans and stuff like that. But I wanted to go into business for myself, and I couldn't find one that would just show me the entire process of a penetration test from start to finish. So that was kind of my inspiration for making this course. But let's go through it, and then throughout the course we're going to go through all 7 steps. So the first step is pre-engagement actions. So in the world of white hat hacking, within the bounds of legal, being legal and everything, you have to get like in writing an agreement from the company that has hired you. So like you could print up a bunch of business cards, go to the local businesses in the area, and offer them maybe a vulnerability assessment or a penetration test. If they say yes before you even start really scanning their network, you really should get a something in writing. And in the downloads, I'm going to provide the documents that you could have them sign. And in this, you'll just kind of include scope and other other things that are required so that you can't get into any trouble. Scope basically just defines like what machines are going to be tested, are the phones in scope, stuff like that. So pre-engagement actions, the most boring and important part of a penetration test. Reconnaissance. So there's 2 types of reconnaissance. There's active and passive. Active is anytime you're making any type of connection with their company. Passive would be like searching them on Google and anything like that. Active would be like running an Nmap scan against their IP subnet range, which I'll teach you guys here in a little bit, and finding out, what services they're running, and it could be running a Wireshark capture. These are all things that we'll go over here and shortly. So reconnaissance is just like scoping it out, finding out what they're about, who works there, what kind of computers they have, what type of server they're running, and all this stuff can be used to find vulnerabilities and exploit them. Vulnerability identification. So after we run like an Nmap scan and find out exactly what services and versions they're running, then we're going to want to identify which one of those which services have known exploitable vulnerabilities. So one of our Nmap scans, it's going to tell us exactly what ports they have listening, which versions of software they have on each of those, and then we can use those to identify vulnerabilities. We can also run automated vulnerability scanners to see what, like NIC2 or Nessus, to see vulnerabilities that they may have. After we identify some vulnerabilities, then we exploit those vulnerabilities. So a vulnerability is just kind of like a weakness in their system. And so when we exploit it, that's when we actually use that to breach their network and to get onto their network and do whatever we're going to do, proof of concept, like show them like, hey, here I am, I'm on your network, take a screenshot, show them that the vulnerability is exploitable. Post-exploitation, this is like after you're on their box, what are you going to do? So you're going to want to gather usernames of admins and other users on the system, get their maybe SAM file for the passwords that they have on there, exfiltrate, just show them that you could exfiltrate sensitive data, and create persistence, so like a backdoor so that you can always get on their system, and just show them that that is possible so that they can patch the hole. Reporting, so you're going to want to document these things that you do, because to a non-technical person, the only thing they really see is the report. So people that have do a crappy penetration test, but write a really cool report, like it looks sharp and it's detailed, that comes off as a higher quality penetration test to a non-technical person than someone that does a really good pen test and writes up a low quality report. Resolution and retesting. So after you report this to them, then they should fix the vulnerabilities. And after they've supposedly patched the vulnerabilities, you're going to want to do this all over again. And hopefully they patched the areas where you were able to get in. And that's it. So those are all the 7 steps of a penetration test. And you can really do this and make some good money. And it's not that hard. We're going to go through all of the steps here shortly. So quiz. What should you do before conducting a penetration test? Get verbal permission, get written permission, install Metasploit, or ask your friends what their IP address is? And the answer, of course, is B, get written permission. Verbal permission will not hold up. So just make sure it's in writing, and I'll give you the documents that you can use as a template to create your agreement. Thank you very much for getting this course, and I'll show you in the next video. Please comment or message me if there's anything else you want me to add.